A team. What a team. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. That's super cool. What do we do now? How about Astralis versus Vitality? I think LCS begins 22 today. Okay, okay. Let's review this game, no? There's LCS today, yeah, we have super weeks. I think this was the best game. I don't think Wunder's gonna come on for LCS, but for the LEC for sure. For the LEC, we will talk to Wunder, we'll talk to Selfmade, we'll talk to Jizuke. The whole squad. Sheepy? I don't know Sheepy. I'm not friends with Sheepy. Fucking Sheepy question mark. Where did that come from, dude?
No, these melee bruisers are coming for fight.
Jabbing.
Okay, okay. Let me just show you guys.
See, that's the thing, right? Because you're gonna try and predict it. It's like so far. What I'm really wondering.
Just roll with it, because already the fact that they locked in Leona Sejuani makes the Merc's value super high. So I'm hoping they're gonna just lock double AD F45 with like Renekton, Irelia, and just try to roll the game out with the Sejuani.
And they saw the Lilia threat.
Did he just predict the Astralis rotation like that? That's crazy.
So far, what I'm
That's
really
crazy. Who's that commentator on the stream?
Willing to go as well, because you don't
Who's the commentator on the stream?
Like we still see the Bellwether is something he wants to play, and then all of a sudden, Caps can just play something more supportive in the mid lane that can still has that.
He's so smart and he sounds fucking hot too.
The damage composition of G2, like it's the flexibility of them once again. It's hard for the coach and it's hard for anyone that plays against G2 because of this specifically.
This is gonna lock a
Actually, I also say, right?
The edge that Astralis have in the draft is the fact that they are willing to play the Caitlyn and they can slam that 2-3, and they might put G2 in a position where they have to pick Varus.
So I said they're gonna first pick Sejuani.
Because you just stop the hook coming through, you get a free laning phase, and you get the free scaling.
Removing the Elise also on the side of G2, we know that leader likes these AD picks, and 113 priors this champion. What are we gonna see on the last bans here on the side of Astralis, and how do you want to open the draft?
I'm curious if they're just gonna slam the Sejuani. I think that opens up a lot of synergies together with leader. Now it's Elise and Ragas out of the picture. I'm hoping to see that. I think one edge that Astralis have in the draft is the fact that they are willing to play the Caitlyn and they can slam that 2-3, and they might put G2 in a position where they have to pick Varus.
Yeah, I was gonna say so far as well. We
good points there. Sejuani first picked, and then G2 are first time in Caitlyn. They never played Caitlyn before. Some fantastic points.
They're busting it out. I shouldn't be surprised, they play everything.
Yeah, so let's think that has good Heimerdinger.
Yeah, the tricky thing is so hard to find champions to pick into this. It's like Ashe is out, and maybe you can play like Varus X, but everything into Heimerdinger and Kate. You know, it's so hard to pick Engage into it, so hard to pick Poke into it. It's just a very difficult lane to break.
Yeah, you could still see the likes of Karma as well if you want to go with
This is not an easy matchup to play, by the way. Xayah and Leona against Kate Heimerdinger is really tough. Here, I think if they, what champion they could pick on 3 and auto win the game? If they picked Olaf here on 3, I think they just won the game. If they pick Olaf instead of Kled, that would have been something.
Yeah,
with the Merc,
of course.
G2 to Sejuani and Leona. Something like this. It's hard to predict.
A lot of stuff in
I do believe we have seen some of that on
So they go Jarvan on 4, but Jarvan is pretty bad into Leona, Sejuani, and Xayah, in my opinion. Especially if it's like Irelia, Renekton, all of these champions are really good into Jarvan, in my opinion. But I noticed that coming into this week, G2 did like Lolalytics gaming, They didn't have a lot of practice, so they just slammed these champions that, have good numbers,
He's going to have to gank bot. Just are quiet when G2 are picking, because...
Malphite in isolation is very weak against Irelia. Very weak. It's like Malphite loses lane against both of these. Malphite did get a nice buff, 2 seconds cooldown on W, which is a pretty big deal. But this game, like, Malphite was running Ignite, which is completely psychopath behavior. And the issue is Malphite and Javan together just don't have any pressure. They don't have pressure. Like, Irelia borderline can 1v2 them. Like, as long as she uses her spells, good. Caps thinks that leader is bad. No, he doesn't. It's like, once again, we are playing with, oh, he's nervous, he's choking, oh, Caps thinks that leader is bad. No, he doesn't. It's like these guys have played up against each other so many times in Champions Queue. It's really good.
Again.
Like, he has respect for leader for sure.
A lot of ants though.
Back to the music. So here, in my mind, I want to take a look at what happened bot lane here, because I was so surprised that Xayah Leona could actually contest level 1 even. Because like this position, it's like, it's a nice punish, right? Sejuani looking for level 2 gank, and the main idea here of what Astralis did level 1 is that they wanted to make sure that no wards are being placed. And then they place this ward themselves. They placed this ward themselves, and they like basically defended their own tribush. And basically this gank is exactly what Bo did against Fnatic in the previous split, right? So basically here, this moment, G2 naturally want to posture really far forward, and they want to pressure the lane because the enemy champions can't do anything to fight back. But this is just a very clever adaptation here with the level 2 gank. And then they go for it. And then Mickey is using the speed from his turrets, and they're trying to find a trade kill, and they find it. It's like, I think that Kobe maybe could play more time here because the minions and the turrets are really, really punching the shit out of him here. I don't think Kobe needed to die. But this gank is like very similar to what we saw from Bo. Like, they played around the vision, they put wards around the vision, and then they look for the level 2 gank because G2's bot lane wants to push forward and gain advantages from level 1, you know? I think Kobe didn't need to die there here though. He like walked into the turrets that he knew were there, and he's getting punched here, and then he flashes for the kill. And I think they could have played it better. But in the end, you know, this is a decent outcome. Because keep in mind, the wave is slow pushing into Xayah. She's super fucking happy. And Seju got a kill, so he can just clear camps. And it's not like Sejuani is not going to get level 3, right? So this was a very, very good trade situation. Because the wave was slow pushing into Xayah and Leona, so they got an advantage. Right? And here Leona picks up level 2. They're slow pushing out, places the pink, and then Leona is dodging all of the vision, and she's looking to participate in the fight on mid. Because here what they are saying in this position is that the Malphite needs to push out. If he doesn't push out here, he's fucked. Because leader TP'd back, and Malphite doesn't have TP. Right? So it's like here, Malphite, if he doesn't have TP, he needs to crash this wave, otherwise he's going to bleed so much. That's what they're calling for Leona to be here. And you see, they're pushing forward, try to crash the wave, they maintain the freeze, leader is in good conditions. This is like the only rough part here. I don't know what happened to Kobe really. It's like the Mickey hits the grenade, like this is a fucking gorgeous grenade. A really, really insane grenade. It's like it all comes down to if this is a direct hit grenade or if it's not. That's the whole trade-off, right? Sure, Leona could be under the turret here with Xayah, but even if this is such a grenade hits, the Leona cannot fight back because they can chunk Xayah even away from the turret aggro. You know? So here, like, they just swiftly combo him, and it all comes down to Mickey's beautiful, beautiful fucking grenade. Because Leona wanted to be on mid to contest the 2v2, and she cannot contest. She can't contest the Prio on the neutral wave, so she wants to sacrifice the neutral wave in order to be first on mid. Because if she stays on bot, Heimerdinger is going to be able to push, and then he's going to be the one hovering into river first. So this is like some of the risks you need to take when you have the lane that doesn't have Prio. But here the direct grenade hit on Kobe, and Leona was moving her way back, and the enemy would probably get like a plating, and then it all comes down to the grenade hitting or not. And Kobe could have pushed it a little bit more defensively. Like, this Mickey grenade was fucking gorgeous. Really good. So it's like always with Aurelia how everything plays out, right? Leader maintained the freeze. Malphite couldn't walk up on the wave, and now he's breaking the freeze. But that situation from before, not letting Malphite and Javan push in that wave and letting him base, really fucked this Malphite up, right? If you can see the conditions between Aurelia and Malphite, she is level 5. Malphite is halfway, and the same amount of minions are on the wave, right? Thank you very much for it, Chrono. Thank you very much. Now here, Mickey is opening through mid, and they're trying to leverage the fact that they think that Leona and Sejuani need to base. So they're pushing on Hansama here. You know, this is a good play. Like, Mickey always likes to open through mid, because here, in theory, he thinks, okay, I based ahead of Leona. Leona still doesn't need to base, right? She's kind of fresh. So she moves and uses this little tempo swing to be first, and then Mickey's opening through mid, and they're looking to pressure the dive. I think probably here into the Cade they could play it a little bit better. Let me see how this plays out. I think Hansama here, I think if he flashes left, he lives. If he legit flashes here, I don't think anything can happen to him. Because he flashes in line with where the feathers are placed. You see? But obviously... Because look, he walks into the line of the feathers. And without the feather damage, they actually don't kill. But it's 1-for-1, but it's a decent trade for Astralis. Very decent. And Mickey's timing here is gorgeous, and they look to hit that plating. He couldn't resist the temptation. Aurelia crashed the wave on mid and then is now bouncing. Now I have to see what Malphite does. If he's stacking a wave, Aurelia should look to pressure with his team. If he's just hard pushing, then Aurelia is going to bounce back, right? And then she can decide after. So yeah, the same thing, right? It's like leader manages to find a freeze and he wants to contest here no matter what. So he just wants to make sure that Malphite gets fucked off of this wave position. G2 with bot prio and Malphite being in this position allows him to do Drake, but leader maintains the freeze. And here leader is just maintaining the freeze. At all costs he wants to fight here and contest here. He's stronger. He doesn't want the enemy team to make this wave crash. He doesn't want to let it happen. He wants to be the aggressor here. And now G2, just because they're pushing forward, he can predict that this play is coming. He wants to contest here no matter what. When you're playing Aurelia, the whole game becomes about you. That's why I hate this fucking champ. I banned it in solo queue because the whole game becomes about you. Here, every wave that you're stacking, the enemy can fuck you. Every wave that the enemy is stacking, you can fuck them. So this was a very good read, right? Leader is pushing forward, Kled is missing, and then they look for the play. And then here, they find the engage, the enemy pushes too far forward, and they find a really good punish. So of course, it ends 2 for 2, but you have to remember all of the details of this, right? Sorry, 1 for 2. 1 for 2 even. I don't even need to explain it. It's really good, right? All things considered, this is a really good outcome. And this is like a clever use of Fog of War of Sejuani and Leona, right? And now the conditions are so fucked for Malphite. 2 times where he tried to crash a wave, Astralis did a very good job of punishing around mid. Very good job. But also, one thing to highlight again, right, is that Xayah really struggles in this lane. In isolated 1v1 against Kate, she gets really fucked. In the 2v2, she gets really fucked. But they picked the Leona to make sure that, you know, they have, you know, they just want to have a strong champion in the 3v3 around mid. That was the whole point. Having Sejuani Leona only kind of makes the enemy not able to slam Ninja Tabi how they want, because you need to consider mercs, you know? Okay, so here I think this was a bit of a misplay. I remember from Finn, he kind of W'd into the Kled mount rather than keeping it. I believe this is what he did, at least. Let me see. Yeah, they slammed Tabis, right? We have Tabis here, we have mercs here. It's like the value from Sejuani and Leona is insane, right? So at least there is some level of balance, because mercs are really good, Tabi is really good, you know? The in-between is important, you know? I think I'm seeing a... I just want to double check, because I believe I'm seeing a Finn W, because he has full rage here, full rage E, and then he W's into the mount. So that's a lot of the burst gone, right? So use all of the burst, and then we have this situation, and then BB survives, which is W's the bike. Very, very tricky there, right? Those small details make a difference. Once again, this matchup is fucking horrible, but very, very hard. Very hard. Literally like fucking unplayable matchup, but. A very key detail about this game, right, is that Caitlyn Heimer, like Caitlyn outranges everyone in this game, and there's no like threat on her unless like the enemy. It's like Caitlyn's so fed this game, and Malphite, Jarvan, Kled, all they need to do is fight around their Kate. They don't need to like engage, they don't need to go on the backline, they don't need to do anything. They just need to wait and let Kate carry the game. Yeah, but it's like if I'm playing Malphite, Jarvan, Kled, I can deal with an Irelia, you know? This whole damage threat counting, oh, this is a triple threat comp, like all of this is like nonsense in most cases. I can tell you that much. It's like, in this particular game, it's not like Kled doesn't have damage. It's not like Heimerdinger doesn't have that. They have damage. It's not about this. It's more about the fact that they need to, in order to win fights, they need to just play around Kate. And they didn't, right? That happens later. Earlier snowballing, Caps with playing Ignite, he was very far behind, right? He was very lucky that this fight around Herald actually like played out in the way that it did. Renekton lost a lot, Kled got ahead. Jarvan into bottom side. Now here is a big difference, right, in terms of how they played it. Here they played it beautifully, because they managed to keep the CC, the Sejuani E, and this was a very, very nice sequence. Very nice dive. Caps here doesn't have ult and he's hovering into top to defend the dive, but this was a dive that was played super, super well. And then Younghoon knew that the turret bot was gone, so he just based and pieced out top straight. He just went top. Then here Caitlyn naturally just wants to base. She's gonna hit tier 2 and Xayah's completely fine and safe. This was a huge, huge win for Astralis. When in reality, they were hard losing because they lose bot turret, right? They were losing bot turret here. I think Olaf on 3 and then maybe on 4 they have more options. So imagine on 4 they just slam Elise. Pick Olaf, Elise, and then you just pick for some fucking... You pick Kled on 5 if you want. That's like an idea. You know? Jace was open. You know? You have options. Elise was banned. Oh yeah, Elise was banned. You're right. Elise was banned. The red side banned Elise. I forgot. Elise banned. You're right. So now with this trade, with Kled, Dive, Dove, and so forth, they took a full turret top, they got 2 kills, it's such a big swing of gold. And Irelia is like, she's 50 CS ahead, 40 CS ahead. Once again, it's the same. Caitlyn and handbidding are such a fucking big issue. This is very well played, right? He doesn't need to go flash for the last auto because Xayah is gale forcing. So leader here doesn't need to flash. Because gale force is just flying, right? But it's hard to see. But the initial play is cool. I think Kate should go IE into LDR. My opinion. Because here, in my mind here, I still think G2 is in a really good spot. Really good. I don't think that they are losing the game in any shape or form. I think just later in terms of how G2 fight is like a very big problem. I don't think you need to go BT, guys. But BT is OP, so you get away with it. The issue is you're dealing IE LDR, like you're delaying very important items. I want to see here how Younghoon moved around here, how he maneuvered himself around the whole situation. Because he dodges all wards and then he finds this collapse with Renekton, which is really, really big. Yeah, Jarvan shouldn't have been picked. I agree. I think picking Jarvan on 4 when Irelia and Renekton will be picked for 5, like, I think it's very obvious that the enemy is going to pick champions that are really good into Jarvan. But at the end of the day, it's like, sure, you have Jarvan into champions that is not so good against, but you have Caitlyn into all of these champions too. It's like this Caitlyn is so propped up and she had the easiest matchup of her life, you know? So it's like sometimes there's trade-offs that happen. It's like, for sure, Olaf should be picked on 3, and then maybe we can... What's the website called? What's the way? So basically we had Draven, Rakan, Annie, this draft feels pretty bad and uncharacteristic considering it's G2 with Dylan. Well, how is it uncharacteristic? You just say that because they lost. But G2 have been drafting like this the entire time. They won against Mad with drafts like this that weren't on paper good. So it's really in character. It's like when enemy locks in Xayah Leona. You know what would be mental here, by the way? This might sound like a meme. But imagine if... I speak Morgana. Morgana jungle. Legit Trundle is also good here. another layer of this, right? Like, they banned... It's like another reason why Olaf on 3 is so good is because they can shift their bans. Like, they can shift their bans a lot. The issue is, it's like, this Irelia pick is so monster value because Heimerdinger is so fucking bad into Irelia. It's really bad. You place a turret, that's like a free Q for Irelia to fight with. Like, Heimerdinger is really, really counted in fights against Irelia. Because this would be like a completely different game, you know? Malzahar sucks ass too. Can Irelia one-shot Heimer turrets all game? Pretty much, yeah. So obviously if this happens level 3, probably not, but... Like if she gets some kind of items and... Actually, can't even do this. Just the Olaf on 3, I think, is just a game changer, honestly. Because the Kled on 3, it's like they're afraid of all the Kled counters. It's like they just ban like Jax, Fiora. I think Fiora, like Jax is a fine ban, but I think like the Irelia ban is also like pretty clutch. It's like, I say this not because it's like I'm being a hindsight Andy. I think Poppy R4 after Olaf is better. Yeah, you only say that though because you see what the enemy picked. It's like Poppy is not good into Xayah, it's not good into Leona, it's not good into Seju. So it's like I show you this, okay? It's 2021. Maybe 5 now. Don't think it's good. We have Olaf top already, Olaf, so we send Olaf top. Yeah, right? Look what we did against leader every game. We just banned fucking Irelia 1, 2, 3. Banned Irelia 1, 2, 3. Then at one point we just banned Irelia, Diana, Viego. Irelia, every game, 5 bans of Irelia ban. Fuck that shit. But yeah, already Olaf showing, and then you're slamming Trundle here as an example, you would create a very different reaction here from the enemy team. And I think these guys would be in big trouble. Like already these 3 champions are so weak into here. And it's like here, it's like what do you really like, you have to blind pick. You have to blind pick a champion that is going to be good into this. What can you really do? Yone? How can Yone play into this? Yone sucks ass. You're fucked. You know? Well, of course. These are things that you can look at, right? Darius. Looks hard. Darius Olaf matchup is very volatile, yes. Maybe there's some potential there, but... Mordekaiser into Olaf top is really FF. But yeah, we continue the game, guys. So this was just gorgeous from Young Hoon, man. Finding this angle here. Really nice. I like that. Very cool. Now the key thing about this, right, is that Kled has no TP. So it's like, this is a big mistake from G2. It's like, Renekton has TP advantage. They don't have enough information to feel comfortable about this, okay? These are all problems. These are all problems, right? They are pushing forward super hard when they're sitting on 2 TPs and they're trying to leverage his window where Zaya's not there, but they need to kind of play around Kled's tempo because he's playing with Ignite. This is a cool engage. He cleanses and goes outright. Hasama gets slammed. Irelia with the Q finds the E on Mickey. This was very nice. I don't know why here. It was weird for me because Astralis are not posturing in River. Like, why are they not in River right now supporting the Renekton? Because I felt like they kind of sold them here. Like, they really sold the Renekton here. Like, why are they not in River? They have nothing to be afraid of in River. Malphite's on top wave. Irelia's hovering. Renekton's on bot wave. They need to be in River right now, sweeping the vision. Like, they are just kind of trolling right now. They're masturbating. They need to be in River right now and supporting the Renekton. Renekton here gets sold by his teammates. Why are they so scared? Like, keep in mind, Caitlyn Heimerdinger is in the mid turret. Malphite was showing on top wave. There can only be 2 bot in River, and they will lose if they are there. So Renekton gets kind of sold here. I really don't know what they're doing here. Like Zaya, Leona, and Seju. They need to be in River right now. What are they doing? Getting mid tower is really big. Like, getting that second herald into this tower is really big. It really changes the dynamic of what Caitlyn and Heimerdinger can do. So the second herald was very important for this game. So the fight they got on midwave was really nice. That's why I really liked it. Caps is G2 have been very sharp with this. It's like we're finding quite late base timers so G2 can set up around this Drake. They're all in position, they're all taking over the space, and here, you know, it's not super easy for Astralis to just enter in, right? They're trying to contest through bottom side, which is a very clever thing to do, but the issue is Renekton doesn't have TP. It's like them entering through bottom side is a good way of doing it. It's like Renekton is going to be on a flank, and it all makes sense how they're approaching it. Because with this whole melee composition, you can't really contest through mid, you're going to be losing. So they're trying to find breathing room elsewhere. Here though, the main thing is that Renekton is showing on midwave without TP. So the inclination from G2 right away is just we need to pull the trigger. It's like if Renekton is not tethering his movement to his teammates, his teammates can't really posture. So yeah, the moment they see Renekton on mid, they're like, what the fuck are they doing? What the fuck are they doing? Let's fucking pull the trigger. Right? Let's fucking go. Thank you very much, AST. Appreciate it. Huge grief, you know, it's like arguable. It's just that it's like very Kled specific, you know, he can run you down. Very Kled specific. It isn't like a huge grief. This one is a bit rough. At least he didn't burn any sums. This is so unfortunate. You see what happened here? His Q gets cancelled. His Q gets cancelled. His Q gets fucking cancelled, guys. Ah, I didn't see this when I watched this live. His Q gets fucking cancelled. The reason he Qs first is because he has Blade Ruin King. The idea is that you Q and you hit, slow, E, and then you get reset on Q because your Q cooldown goes down, right? He gets stunned before his dodge, like his E animation is finished. And I think the ult from leader is good because he needs to ult to keep him in range. It's like if this Q doesn't get cancelled, he double kills him, by the way. It's insanely close. Yeah, Jung tweeted at me, it's like, please correct my mistake. Yeah, his ult here is a bit funny, but I'm not sure what happened. But I don't want Jung to feel bad because he played a really good game. The main thing for me here is like they are burning a lot of tools to commit into a Heimerdinger without the Aurelia who has the majority of the gold. So this is like a very favorable fight here for G2. I think this was not necessary. It was not that big of a deal, it doesn't change the game so much. The main issue is just 4th Drake. This was... So leader TP's top. TP's top. Interesting. TP's top. The main thing here about the TP top is that no one's catching bot. Okay? So no one's catching bot. So he's not creating a man advantage. The enemy is 5 on mid. So I like this TP top less because the enemy can be 5 on mid. I think the TP top is really good if someone is catching bot wave. But no one's catching bot wave. And now the enemy is pushing for dive, and that's, you know, it's like, I think if G2 had a little bit better timing on this and hit the wave same time, you know, I think this looks like a dangerous situation, right? It's like, I don't think this is bad when I look at it now. Because they are sacking the bot wave. Right now the enemy is already bleeding. It's just that I think Yike just went a bit too fast. You know? He goes a bit too fast. And also he didn't EQ. He fucking... Like if he ulted here, right? Like look Yike. If he ulted here, right? If he ulted and EQs out, yo, it's like, wow, he smuffed. Imagine he EQs out, but he Qs only. Imagine he EQ'd here, it would have been brilliant. These guys are, the turret's gonna fall, there's gonna be a fight, and the relay is out of position. But he queued the floor. No flag. Now they burnt a lot of tools and Irelia can limp into this fight, and this is a dream situation for Irelia. What Kobe did in this fight is also really fucking good, right? It's like, it's so important to recognize as an AD when the enemy has so many tools to fuck you, to just wait. Too many ADs want to play the game before the enemy uses their ults and tools. And I think Kobe here, you know, of course he has the dream fight. But here he's so patient, Kobe, with his tools. Ults, still has flash, and then like the flash on the Malphite ult. Look at that, man. Boom. Ah, man, Kobe. Really fucking well played, Kobe, man. Yeah, Finn completely griefs it. I don't know if it's like, is it a Heimerdinger turret that he tries to E on? Finn tries to E the Heimerdinger turret. Now it makes sense. But Leader kills it. He's trying to E the Heimerdinger turret to have E reset into flash EW. Oh man. That's pretty funny actually, look. He E's it when he Q's it. Ah, it's so close. It's so unfortunate. Because he flash and has no E. That's really funny. That's pretty funny actually. For sure Finn says this in review. 100%. I wouldn't be worried about that, guys. That's 100% they did it. Okay, so defended the Nash. It's that could have been a turn into a kill, into reset, into pressure more Nash. It could have been something really big and beautiful. The issue with this fight though is that like Caitlyn is slowly losing her advantage in the game, right? It's like we're slowly forgetting what made Caitlyn so damn strong in this game. Who does he go on? Well, then he burns Heimerdinger Flash and can E out, right? It's no problem. I think there's potential there, you know? We come out of a replay right away here, but I just feel like Mickey, like this ward is really good, right? Like this ward is so brilliant because you see both sides. You see if the enemy wants to contest mid and how many people they have to contest mid, and also you see if they cross into any side of the map. And it's like here, this is just... This is just an awkward position. Okay, thank you, Hala Madrid. This is just Mickey getting caught and them not having like a space to kite towards. Because it's like they can threaten Caitlyn off of this space very easily, and like Leader is playing in the wave. Like this is very well played by Leader on the Irelia. You know, he plays it really fucking good. Thank you very much, Yodel Johan. Appreciate it, thank you. Well, how did Leader E? I want to see how he eat. Oh, he's the ground actually. Okay. I think if he kept E here, it would have been crazy. Would have been absolutely nuts if he kept E. But okay. Just an awkward spot, right? It's like, sure, Mickey can maybe flash out, he can peace out, you know. He's watching Irelia and Seju position, he feels safe, you know. It's like Caitlyn is like posturing to fight with the Dinger, but in reality, like Dinger can flash out and Caitlyn doesn't need to be under any pressure. Like it's a very awkward sequence. It's like it's so hard for anyone to play that out. I don't see. I'm trying to think of it. Let's see again. It's like I understand why make you feel safe here. It's just very area specific that you can just queue through and find this engage. It's just a very bad spot to be Caitlyn in. It was such a crucial timing as well to make this mistake, right? It's like it's a very poor fight. Malphite is not even on mid-wave yet. It's like Malphite tempo is bad. It's like they need to just wait. They need to wait. It's like they can't posture so far forward. It's like Malphite took the TP, right, to be a participant, but it's such a crucial fight because the enemy actually denies the soul, you know? And this is all good. Still here, like, I really like this Nash. I really like this Nash because it's not 50-50. It's not. You can coordinate your burst. It's like these 50-50s that people talk about, it's like you can coordinate your burst really easily. It's like you have so much burst on your team. Every comp has burst. You can coordinate it together and choose a number that the enemy jungler can't possibly know. You can burst at like 1700, right, with Xayah feathers and smite. And when you're doing Nash like this, you're putting yourself in almost no danger. After they change to jungle, you don't take damage anymore from Nash. Look how healthy they are, by the way. They are fucking healthy. They're all eating carrots and shit. They're exercising. Everyone's healthy and they just tank Nash. Tanking Nash is not a threat anymore. When you're stronger, for example here, right? The reason I think this is so fucking good from Astralis is because they had a tempo swing and Caitlyn has no summoners. So they really need to leverage. They really need to leverage this position here. They have flash on Irelia, no flash on Kate, and pressuring Nasher when Xayah has feathers down. It's not 50-50. You can smite and feather. You can do the feather recall thing, and you have the burst. You see? You know? It's like this is so much harder for Jarvan than it is for Sejuani and Xayah to secure it. This was like a really good play. Because there's a lot of details that come into it. You need to pressure this Caitlyn that has no sums and put her in situations where she fights. Really good. Yeah, main thing still, you need to play around your Kate. You need to play around your Kate. But look how the whole G2 squad abandons Kate. They just abandoned her. You still need to play around Kate. Like Kate probably needed to buy LDR and she needs to be the one bumping out damage. But here she is completely abandoned and you have this separation in the fight. Xayah loves this. She has shit to hit. Xayah has shit to hit. Which is Yike and Kled, they completely fucking overcommit here. These two guys are turning around and helping Hansama, but this is such a poor fight to take. Look how broken Kobe is here. He's insanely OP. It's like, look how much value Kobe got in this fight. It's like his damage done this fight is insanity, by the way. Insane. Yeah, this is unfortunate, right? Like the situation. It's like there's no ending here and then they got kind of fucked. It's like Young-hoon is like fucking taking the TP back and Eing and he just dies. I guess it was a big mistake because they lost the Drake. I think even in this case you don't take mid inhib, you know? You just fucking go to the Drake and you eat it. It's just better. So they gave Soul. And at this point, you know, it's like, looks like fucking G2 is looking strong in this game, but the lack of LDR is very, very concerning here on Kate. Because the enemy team does have a lot of armor right now. They're all tanks. It's like Tabi and Cloth Armor, you know, this Renekton has 150 armor right now. The Sejuani has for sure 150 armor. Like Irelia right now, she's getting Death Dance. She for sure has close to 150 armor. This Leona has 180. It's just you need to keep in mind the armor per level is insanely high after the durability patch. I think the fact that he's not sitting on LDR is a big issue. Like you went BT, sure, you are. It's like you need to pose a threat to the enemy before you begin to secure yourself. You know, it's like BT is not going to save you, I think. I think the position here was very awkward for G2. The fact that they're pushing into here, but in reality they want to be on the mid wave. It's like Hansama should have permission to walk here, and he needs to have his teammates around him. But he can't, because the wave is here, and leader is fully stacked, so he's going to queue, and he's going to, you know, be a monster here. So Hansama can't cross. And you're going to see when this fight starts that Hansama is going to be in a very bad spot. It's like here, like he can't push forward here. Astralis have the position on mid. Here, I didn't think that this was necessary for 1-1-3. I think they could have walked with the mid wave more, make G2 reposition, and then they can take Nash. The bottom wave, as silly as it may sound, doesn't fucking matter at all. You don't fucking want to go there. You don't give a shit. I think here you run it down completely, the enemy is not going to engage on you. They can't. They're not going to engage on you from behind. They just can't. Like imagine here, Astralis just ran down here all the way. They just start hitting Kled, push him out. These guys need to fucking walk all the way around. They're not going to fucking flank you with this comp. They're not going to, you know? Such as no ult. I think here G2 should start Nash. I think G2 should start Nash here. I think if they step into river here, start knowing Nash, it would be a good play. There's no mid wave, the mid wave is so far, there's no end threat. They could have started Nash here, but they are trapping. Because once again, they're trapping in a spot where Hansama's position becomes so bad. I think they should pressure Nash here on the spot. And Yike getting caught here is really bad. They need to kite backwards, not to the left. Okay, they need to kite backwards. But Yike here is in a very bad spot. If they are kiting backwards, it's better. You see? But they're kiting towards Yike. And then look at this Leona ult. You know, this is just disaster. And Astralis punished well. Okay. So obviously there's a lot of things that G2 could improve in draft. But I think they also had like some moments in the game that they actually threw and played bad. So there's like a balance. I think that you know, when the enemy reveal their hand and they pick Sejuani and they play Xayah and Leona, you can definitely go in a very specific direction. You know, you can find stronger picks than they did. I think they need to play around Caitlyn a lot better, and there were some fights that were bad. But all in all, you know, decent game by Astralis. I wouldn't get worried about G2 just yet. I think that they are still, on paper, the strongest team. Sure, they have contenders. You know, Vitality can definitely take that spot. But with the games we've seen so far, we shouldn't jump too big of conclusions, because in the end, Vitality played against a very weak Mad Lions, right? With the shit draft. They played against Fnatic. And then who else did they play against? I'm missing a game. Which game am I missing, guys? Missing a game, guys. Oh. Excel, right? This was the game where they stomped topside, right? It's like this was such a free win. Okay. No, I think for sure this game was the most interesting game of the weekend. This was a very, very fun game. A lot of small details that, you know, the teams leveraged for their advantage. I think this was a very, very fun game. By far the best game in terms of entertainment that we saw in the BO1 phases. 100%. All right. I think I'm going to eat some food, guys. And then we're going to review Keiko. Right back.